आपने लाल डायरी के बारे में सुना है ना? कहते हैं इस लाल डायरी में कांग्रेस सरकार के काले कारनामे दर्ज है। लाल डायरी के पन्ने खुले तो अच्छे अच्छे निपट जाएंगे। आज का मंत्र है भ्रष्टाचार ट्वीट इंडिया, परिवारवाद ट्वीट इंडिया। ट्वीट इंडिया ही देश को बचाएगा और देश को विकसित भारत बनाएगा।
क्या वो जानकारी प्राप्त नहीं कर सकते कि जो डायरी का जो हुआ खड़ा किया गया जानबूझ करके, तो क्या इससे घबरा गए हैं मोदी जी और इनकी पार्टी? बार बार यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं।
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I am Anand Narasimhan. Now, for the last 5 working days, ladies and gentlemen, all that India has witnessed in Parliament is dharna, din and disruption. Modi versus India. Not the country India, the new alliance, the committee of the opposition party. Sloganing war in Parliament, banners in Parliament, opposition remaining adamant on the Prime Minister's statement on the Manipur issue, saying he has to open the debate and it has to be under Rule 267 and he has to also answer in the end, otherwise nahi chalega. So that adamance is on display. The Parliament productivity in the last 5 days in Lok Sabha has been 13%. In Rajya Sabha it's 28%. And as the Sansad showdown continues, in Sikar, Prime Minister Narendra Modi cranking up the political rhetoric and literally signaling the onset of election season in Bharat over the next 9 to 10 months, ladies and gentlemen. Unsparing in his attack at this new alliance, I.N.D.I.A. That is the Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. Elucidating the naam badalne se kaam nahi badalta adage, Prime Minister drawing parallels between the Indian Mujahideen, Student Islamic Movement of India, you see the evolution, and that became Popular Front of India, and their deeds with this Cong-led opposition committee. While targeting intent, he yet again drew parallels with the East India Company to emphasize that people cannot be deceived merely by invoking the country's name. What is your intent? That's the important aspect. Quoting Mahatma Gandhi's slogan of Quit India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said almost a century later, it's time to give that clarion call again. But the call is against corruption, appeasement, dynastic politics, all of which he alleged are symptomatic of this alliance of 26 parties, which some are terming Special Chabbis. The opposition, however, undeterred, insisting that the Prime Minister is diverting attention from the real issues and not speaking on Manipur. They went on to assert that in 2024, the voters will reject the BJP. This is less than 24 hours after Prime Minister addressing the ITPO gathering said third term, we will be among the top 3. Literally saying तीसरी बार भी Modi sarkaar. And that too on a day when the opposition, actually not all of the opposition and not all of I.N.D.I.A, just the Congress moving this no confidence motion. So there again questions being asked, why did you do it without even asking us, getting us on board? We are supposed to be an alliance. So 2024, the fight, is it going to be quit I.N.D.I.A or quit India or jeetega India? That's the bigger question. Let's go across to our guests this evening. All parliamentarians except barring one. That is Anand Ranganathan, who is joining us. Good to have you with us, author, analyst, and he would have his own piece to say about all that is happening. Syed Zafar Islam, national spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. Mahua Majiji, Rajya Sabha MP of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, is with us. Namaste, Mahuaji. Good to have you with us in the studio. And we also have Shyam Singh Yadav, Lok Sabha MP of the BSP. Namaste, Jai Hind to the lady and the gentleman. Let's just get straight into the act. Let me ask you, Syed Zafar Islam. The Prime Minister is absolutely unsparing. He's taken the attack into the opposition. Opposition is unsparing. गिविंग इट बैक हार्ड, पर वो सब आप अपने खर्चे पे करिए ना सर, सरकारी क्या टैक्स पेयर के खर्चे पे क्यों कर रहे हैं? 31 bills are supposed to be debated and discussed in parliament. वो कब होगा सर? ये 5 दिन का हिसाब मैं आपसे मांगूंगा तो आप में से कोई मुझ पे प्रिविलेज नोटिस कर देगा. They will move a privilege notice saying how dare you question parliament and parliamentarians. But it's all taxpayers' money, sir.
Anandji, absolutely, Anandji, you are spot on. It is taxpayers' money, and I think the opposition parties should behave responsibly because they are highly irresponsible as an opposition parties, and put together they are behaving as if they don't have any responsibility or accountability to the people of this great country, not only the taxpayers but the people as a whole. Secondly, they wanted a discussion on Manipur. We agreed for discussion on Manipur. We said that we want to have a discussion, detailed discussion, and the Honorable Home Minister said on the floor of the Parliament that let's have a discussion on Manipur. It is fall. Then they said okay, no, because their intention is not to discuss the Manipur, they just want to disrupt the Parliament. They will now stand exposed because it is not only he made the statement on the floor of the Parliament, it is followed by a letter that how much you want to, let's discuss in detail, let's not worry about the time. You take how much time you want. So in terms of Rule 67, 267 or Rule 176, doesn't hold water because the Honorable Home Minister in his letter addressed to a leader of opposition and leader of in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha has very clearly later said that there is no constraint on time. Let's discuss. You want to discuss about Manipur? Let's discuss. But they are not keen. They want to just disrupt the Parliament. They do not want business to be transacted on the floor of the Parliament. They do not want bills to be passed to become legislation because their intention is only to disrupt the Parliament and mislead the nation. But they stand exposed. They completely stand exposed because when they will go to the public will say the ruling party said let's discuss. You were not keen. Ruling party, you said 267 because you will have endless discussion. Okay, the Honorable Home Minister sent a letter, said that as much more time you want, I will give you that time. Let's discuss. Exclusively, not Chhattisgarh, not Rajasthan, exclusively Manipur. But they are not honest. Their intention is not honest. They are misleading and they will continue to mislead. They will not let the Parliament function. And it is not only this time. This time Manipur, earlier Pegasus, earlier prior to that, some other issues. They want to just rake issues only with one intention to disrupt the Parliament, let the business not be transacted.
Let the opposition is there. Opposition is there on the panel. Let them respond. But my humble submission is, ताली एक हाथ से नहीं बचती. सरकार आपकी है. You have brute majority in Parliament, and still you are not allowed. You are not able to get Parliament to function and get people on board. That also reflects on your inability to manage the opposition. And we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Wait, sir,
allow me 10 seconds only. 10 seconds only. 10 seconds.
Ji.
Only I'm saying, see, when there is a process, an established process that everything will be discussed in BAC. So BAC, there is a meeting of minds in BAC that these are the issues which will be discussed. And subsequently you change your mind, you come on the floor of the Parliament and you disrupt it. How will you discuss this? How will you transact the business?
So then they
are highly irresponsible.
Then sir,
they will be made accountable by the people of this great country.
No, sir, but the point is, I have critical bills which, as a citizen of this country, I want accountability to this government. This is the last working session of Parliament. After even in the winter session, then you get into caretaker mode. Nothing of this sort is going to happen. Mahua Majiji, do you want Manipur discussed or not? 2.5 घंटा तो 2.5 घंटा शुरू तो कीजिए. 5 दिन से कह रहे हैं डिबेट करना है, कोई डिबेट नहीं कर रहा.
अरे कहाँ 2.5 घंटे?
अच्छा
एलओपी जब बोलने के लिए खड़े होते हैं तो एलओपी
अरे शुरुआत तो 2.5 घंटे से. रुकिए, आप महुआ जी को बोलने दीजिए.
सबसे बड़ी बात कि एलओपी जब खड़े होते हैं बोलने के लिए तो उनका माइक बंद कर दिया जाता है, उन्हें बोलने नहीं दिया जाता है. और सबसे बड़ी बात आप कह रहे हैं कि हाँ, माननीय अमित शाह जी चाहते थे बोलना, चर्चा करना, लेकिन चूंकि वो मणिपुर गए, वहां 3 दिन तक रहे और उन्होंने कहा कि सब कुछ ठीक है, शांति बहाली हो गई. उसके बाद उस तरह के वीडियोस आने लगे. आपने देखा होगा कि 3 महीने से मणिपुर जल रहा है. इसलिए जो भी इंडिया टीम के लोग हैं वो चाहते हैं कि खुद माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी आए और वो आकर इस गंभीर मुद्दे पर बात करें. ऐसा नहीं कि उनके पास समय नहीं है, वो हर कार्यक्रम में जा रहे हैं. वो मीडिया को बाइट दे रहे हैं, वो विदेश भी जा रहे हैं।
होम मिनिस्टर कौन है?
जो भी रहे आप,
नहीं, देश का होम मिनिस्टर कौन है?
ठीक है, जो भी रहे, लेकिन
अरे जो भी रहे नहीं, देश का होम मिनिस्टर कौन है? आप मुझे ये बताइए ना महुआ जी। देश इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी, नहीं, आप पार्लियामेंटेरियन है, मेरे से ज्यादा पढ़ी लिखी है। मैं बस आपसे ये पूछ रहा हूं कि देश की आंतरिक सुरक्षा की जिम्मेदारी किस शख्स पर है?
ठीक है, वो अमित शाह
अगर
जी
वो
पर है।
अमित शाह जी पर, अगर वो शख्स कहने को तैयार है कि मैं आपके सारे सवाल का जवाब दूंगा, आई विल स्टैंड देयर एंड आई विल होल्ड माई सेल्फ अकाउंटेबल। आप ये कह रहे हैं कि देश के होम से देश के होम से कोई भूमिका नहीं है?
ऐसा है कि जब किसी राज्य में, जैसे मान लीजिए पश्चिम बंगाल में कोई घटना होती है, तो कौन जिम्मेदार है? उस थाने के थाना प्रभारी। लेकिन क्यों ममता बनर्जी को, क्यों मुख्यमंत्री जी को?
क्योंकि वो स्टेट के होम मिनिस्टर भी हैं।
नहीं, ठीक है,
ममता बनर्जी के पास होम मिनिस्ट्री है।
मान लीजिए उनके पास है, अगर किसी स्टेट में अगर होम मिनिस्ट्री नहीं भी रहती है,
ममता बनर्जी के पास होम मिनिस्ट्री है, तो इसीलिए ममता जी से प्रश्न पूछा जाता है। अगर आंतरिक सुरक्षा की नहीं, आप मुझे, आप प्रधानमंत्री, देखिए आप प्रधानमंत्री से, प्रधानमंत्री जी से, आप प्रधानमंत्री जी से प्रश्न पूछिए उनसे। नहीं, लेकिन सबसे पहले तो आपको देश के गृह मंत्री से पूछना चाहिए ना, आंतरिक सुरक्षा उनकी जिम्मेदारी है।
कहा जा रहा है कि इस पर विस्तृत चर्चा होगी, जिसमें पहले माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी अपनी बात रखे, उसके बाद
प्रधानमंत्री जी क्यों अपनी, आप मुझे ये बताइए, हट क्यों कर रही हैं आप?
इसलिए हट किया जा रहा है कि वो आखिर इस मुद्दे पर इतने अगंभीर कैसे हो सकते हैं? जेनोसाइड का मामला है।
जेनोसाइड का क्या? एज अ पार्लियामेंटेरियन प्लीज बी वेरी केयरफुल व्हेन यू से जेनोसाइड। इट्स अ वेरी सीरियस वर्ड मैम। पार्लियामेंट इज इन सेशन। एज अ पार्लियामेंटेरियन प्लीज बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल। कहां पे जुलाई 18 जुलाई से एक भी डेथ रिपोर्ट नहीं हुआ, आप जेनोसाइड क्यों कह रहे हैं?
कि अगर 800 से 1000 लोग मिलकर एक गांव पे हमला करते हैं और उस गांव की महिलाओं को, वहां के लोगों को वहां से निकाल के उनकी हत्या करते हैं, उनको नंगा करके
एथनिक क्लैश है मैम, ये कोई प्रोग्राम नहीं, आप जो भी आप बोले महुआ जी, प्लीज आई रिक्वेस्ट यू टू बी वेरी वेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबल बिकॉज यू आर अ पार्लियामेंटेरियन, पार्लियामेंट इज इन सेशन, दिस इज एन एथनिक क्लैश बिटवीन टू कम्युनिटीज, बोथ द मेते एंड द कुकी कम्युनिटीज हैव सफर्ड, बोथ साइड्स हैव हैड लॉसेस, देयर इज नो वन साइड टू इट, प्लीज डोंट कॉल इट अ पोग्राम, इट्स नॉट अ पोग्राम एंड इट्स नॉट अ जेनोसाइड टू यूज that word is very highly irresponsible.
बट उस सम्मान में आपको बता दूं कि कारगिल युद्ध में एक सूबेदार की जो थे उनकी पत्नी को नंगा करके घुमाया गया। उन्होंने कहा मैंने देश की रक्षा की, लेकिन अपनी पत्नी की रक्षा नहीं कर पाया। तो ये कितना गंभीर मामला है। आप
ये गंभीर मामला है, मैं मना नहीं कर रहा हूं, गंभीर मामला है, मना नहीं कर रहा हूं, लेकिन देश के गृह मंत्री अगर कहने को इस चर्चा को शुरू कर स्टेटमेंट देकर इस चर्चा को शुरू करने को तैयार है, पार्लियामेंट में 2.5 घंटे से ऊपर की चर्चा होने को तैयार है, लेकिन आप क्यों हट कर रही हैं? यानी आप 5 दिन में कोई भी बात हो पाई है संसद में? नहीं हो पाई। अच्छा रुकिए, श्याम सिंह यादव जी आप मुझे बताइए, shouldn't there be a discussion if the home minister is ready to answer and if the parliament feels the home minister's answer and home minister's response is inconvincing, then should they not insist on the prime minister? Does this alliance really want a discussion on Manipur in parliament?
Mr. Ranganathan ji,
रंगनाथन जी दूसरे हैं सर, मैं नरसिम्हा हूं, पर दोनों का नाम आनंद है, आप आनंद बोलिए, हम दोनों समझ जाएंगे।
अच्छा
जी,
अच्छा मिस्टर आनंद
जी,
the everyday home minister or parliamentary affairs minister, even honorable speaker announces in the parliament that we are ready for the discussion, we are ready for the discussion. I must tell you, Anandji, it is totally white lie. It is totally white lie, I say. Because
I will have to respond to this,
interested in
after he completes.
So listen to me.
आप ही बोलिए।
They should fix up the date and time. Look, here on this day we are ready for the, and this is a very serious matter. The such type of arson, such type of killing, such type of mishappenings never happened in recent past in any state. So it is very important. And what for Prime Minister is there? Is it not constitutional and moral duty of the Prime Minister to attend the House, to come to House and reply the queries of the opposition parties? What for is Prime Minister? He has been made Prime Minister for touring abroad, for election purposes, for holding rallies in different states. It is very shameful that our honorable Prime Minister is not attending the House Parliament.
But I am asking you, sir, as a Lok Sabha MP,
thing,
who is responsible for the internal security?
Sir, let me respond to this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just a second, Anand.
Yes,
I
Zafar
have
Islam.
some question to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is a member of parliament. He is a member of parliament, so is Mahua. Mahua ji.
हाँ.
Let me pose these two questions to both of them.
जी.
सुनिए,
No.
listen to me.
सुनिए.
Listen to me.
श्याम जी सुनिए.
Listen to me.
श्याम जी सुनिए ना पहले मेरे एक जवाब आप साथ दे दी. You can respond to my question also.
Listen to me.
एक मिनट श्याम जी.
I'm replying.
Let me. No. I have a question
Shyam
You must
ji, if
respond
you
to
may
that
please
question.
yield. Zafar Islam of the BJP, who is an MP himself, wants to ask you something.
Reply to Mr.
अरे
Anand
आप
later.
हाँ जी.
Mr. Anand.
हाँ ठीक है sir.
No.
Sir, you can park my question with you and you can answer it later. Zafar Islam wants to intervene. Please allow him. Yes.
For tackling internal disturbance.
हाँ.
But in such important matters, normally it is a tradition. Prime Minister comes, Prime Minister faces the Sansad. और वो जवाब
Okay,
देता
so let
है,
me
Mr.
respond to
Anand.
them. Let me
Yeah.
respond to him.
Yeah, please respond, Zafar Islam.
अच्छा, let me respond. अच्छा जरा श्याम जी, let me respond to your question. When you are talking about tradition, which tradition you are talking?
Tomorrow you can
No.
say any other minister will reply. Tomorrow, no. First listen to me. Tomorrow,
He is
अरे
responding.
बोलने तो
BJP
दीजिए,
is
आप
responding to
मैंने
you.
सुन तो
Shyam
लिया,
Singh
आपको-
Yadav, please
आपको जानकारी
listen.
कम है।
Yes, Syed Zafar Islam.
अरे आपको जानकारी कम है श्याम जी.
Why you dilute the
श्याम जी,
traditions like
श्याम
this?
जी आप सुन नहीं पा रहे हैं. आप पहले सुनिए लोगों को.
आप
सुनिए. Let me respond. नहीं एक मिनट अभी आप सुन लीजिए.
मेरे reply
First
Zafar
of
Islam,
all,
go
you are
ahead.
saying that there is a tradition. There is a tradition. Which tradition you are talking about? 1993. I just want, since you have spoken about tradition, 1993, there was a Kuki Naga, at that time, ethnic clashes. In 1993, 550 people died at that time. It was Congress government. And who responded? Who visited there? It is the MOS for 3.5. He visited for 3.5 hours. Only Manipur he visited 3.5 hours. It was responded by Ministry of State. Neither Prime Minister nor the Home Minister. Here Home Minister wants to respond.
Something happens against
Here
you,
Home Minister wants to respond. Sir,
you just
you are
dig
not
down,
aware.
dig
You are talking
any
about
past history.
parliamentary tradition, then you are not aware of it. Please
you
get the
run
details
away.
first before you are making
You-
any statement.
You
No,
run
who is
away,
running away? You are not
you
even
run
aware.
away facing
You are making a
serious
statement.
questions.
This is something
You
do not
always
want. You do
take
not want
shelter
discussion. We are saying
behind
discussion. We
past
want
history.
discussion. We want discussion.
You always take
We
shelter
want
behind
discussion.
past history.
Are you ready for
don't
discussion?
reply.
One minute,
You
Shyam
don't
Singh
face
Yadav ji,
your
please
serious
yield.
question.
Just now, sir,
You
on
are
the
not-
debate, Shyam Singh ji,
you
you
are
said this
not
is tradition.
serious.
ये रिवाज
Yes,
है
then let's
जिस
see
तरीके से
talking
किसी
about
जो प्रक्रिया चली आ रही है. No, Shyam Singh ji, just by continuously speaking, you cannot just try and derail the debate or override the debate and corner the debate. प्लीज लिसन टू मी सर. अभी आपने थोड़ी देर पहले मुझे तर्क दिया कि जो रिवाज है, जो तरीका है पार्लियामेंट का, वो फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हैं. जब आपको पास्ट इंस्टेंसेस गिनाया गया तो यू आर सेइंग यू आर गोइंग बाय द पास्ट. ये तो आप इधर से भी डोल बजा रहे हैं, इधर से भी डोल बजा रहे हैं. दैट्स नॉट फेयर. द सेकंड पॉइंट सर, if the Prime Minister has to come into the House, then the Prime Minister has to come towards the end of the discussion to close the discussion, but the opening statement has to be made by the person responsible for the internal security of the country. That's the Home Minister. The government is saying 2.5 hour discussion is ready. We are ready. You have not delayed. You have not forced the government to push for a discussion. By your adamance, you are allowing the government to get away with not having a discussion at all. You should say, come to the floor, have the discussion. 2.5 hours not enough. We need another 2.5 hours. Continue, let everybody say, and in the end say, no, we want the Prime Minister to conclude. That should have been the way if you really want to counter the government. Right now you are giving the government an easy getaway. Anand Ranganathan, and then I'll move on. Then I'll quickly. Then
1 minute.
10 seconds.
yes, Syed Zafar Islam. 10 seconds,
there is
and then
no
L
restriction.
Hanumantaya is also with us. Ji.
There is no constraint on timing. Not 2.5 hours. The Honorable Home Minister has written in his letter to Leader of Opposition, and that take as much time as you want. Only restrict discussion to Manipur. Let's have a discussion. But these people do not want a discussion. They are misleading the nation. We are absolutely upset with their conduct and their style of functioning in the parliament.
All right.
They want that people are blind in this country. We want to have discussion. You want to have discussion. Let's have discussion tomorrow.
Right. That's fantastic. But my point is, sir, you have also not been able to convince. Shyamji, please yield. Shyamji, please yield. Let me bring in L. Hanumantaiah is also there. Anand Ranganathan is also there. They've been listening to everybody for 20 minutes. So let's just bring their comments in and then I'll come back to you. Please yield, sir. Yeah. Now the other aspect what the Prime Minister is saying is, and this is reflective, नाम बदलने से काम नहीं बदलता. नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन आया महुआ जी, आपको पता भी था कांग्रेस ने मूव किया है, फिर अलायंस किस बात का हो गया? एल हनुमंतैया जी इज विद अस, बट बिफोर दैट आनंद रंगनाथन, योर थॉट्स ऑन व्हाट्स हैपनिंग? क्विट इंडिया, जीतेगा इंडिया? डज इज इंडिया मेक एनी डिफरेंस?
A very good evening to you, A.N.A.N.D. I just thought, for the benefit of Mr. Yadav, who I have great respect for, I'll make a distinction between the two Anands. So you can choose whether you want to be just plain Anand or A.N.A.N.D. No, but the fact of the matter is, Anand, the 2 points that I like to make very briefly. One is on, rightly so, the Prime Minister elaborating that just by having India, even if it's an acronym and you say it speedily as India and try to make this insinuation, India jeetega, Modi pe, this, that, all that stuff, by changing the mere name, you will not change the nature of the coalition. The coalition remains UPA, except that it's even worse, more corrupt and more conceited than what it was from 2004 to 2014. And I'll explain with points. But before that, I want to come to this. The whole thing hinges on who do you trust. Now, if it was a presidential election, it is game over because Modi versus who? Any of those 26? I'm sorry, but the fact of the matter is they will not be able to hold a candle to Modi. It's a fact. Even the opposition acknowledges it. But we are not a presidential form of democracy, so therefore the fight. But here, before I come to the other point, I have great respect for Mahua ji. She is a member of parliament as well. I want to ask her, this India alliance has said it wants to eradicate corruption and sleaze from India. Then Mahua ji, please explain, why has this alliance or Congress teamed up with people who are at loggerheads? JMM accused Congress of cheating the people of Jharkhand and India. Congress accused JMM of horse trading. Last year, around the same time, in fact, on July 11, 2022, Aam Aadmi Party accused both JMM and Congress of rampant corruption. All 3 of you are at loggerheads. And you believe that when it comes to India, you will work in unison to eradicate corruption and sleaze? How is that possible? People are looking at you. People are looking at when Congress says it wants to eradicate sectarianism from India. People are saying that you have teamed up with Bhagwant Maan, whom you are accusing in the state of promoting Khalistanis. So you can't have the two. I'm sorry, you have to make a distinction. If you want to eradicate corruption from India, you cannot team up with corrupt people. If you want to eradicate all the ills from India, you cannot team up with people whom you are accusing of all these ills. It's plain logic. And number 2, very quickly, Anand, the fact of the matter out here is that I don't know why BJP did not have this debate on Manipur 2 months ago. Because the fact of the matter is very clear. It has the data and the figures over the last 10 years on its side. The Congress and the UPA would have been brutally exposed on Manipur. Manipur is more stable, more peaceful than it ever was before, barring these 2 months. And what is the reason for these 2 months? Is it the BJP, the upheaval? It is a High Court ruling. It's got nothing to do with the BJP. In fact, BBC has said that there are underlying reasons that have got nothing to do with the BJP or Metis or the other tribal groups that it is fighting with. So let us have the facts on the table. Why not have this debate? And if you cannot have this debate, Mr. Islam, I plead to you, exactly whatever you wanted to say on the floor of the House, please hold a press conference where Amit Shah can take 5 hours, 10 hours, lay out all the facts that you claim you are not being allowed to say in the parliament, lay it out in the press conference. What is stopping you?
I'm giving the first.
Okay.
Let me give one clarification.
Yes.
Anand.
Yes.
Anand, Ranganathan, let me update you and all the viewers and the panelists also that when the all party meeting was there, the Honorable Home Minister made a presentation giving all the details. They have all the details. That's why saying their intention is not noble. Their intention is to only disrupt the parliament.
We want to know the details.
And
Aslam ji,
yes, it will be made.
We want to know the details.
We will made it.
Make it public.
Within 2 days it will. Within 2 days it will made public. All these people who are trying
That's
to
breaking news.
Trying to
Anand,
deceive
that's
the
breaking
people,
news.
they will be exposed. Stand exposed. Completely stand exposed.
L. Hanumanthaya ji has not spoken. Mahua ji wanted to intervene. Hanumanthaya ji, with your kind permission, please allow her 1 minute and then I'll come to you, sir. Thank you for your patience.
I'm giving the first answer.
जी.
आपने कहा कि एक दूसरे को एलिगेशन देते थे, सारे भ्रष्टाचारी हैं, सब एक साथ आने से कैसे होगा? People are looking at you. तो मैं ये पूछना चाहती हूँ कि महाराष्ट्र में 3 दिन पहले जिनको भ्रष्टाचारी कहा गया, जिनको चोर कहा गया, उनको आप कैसे अपने पार्टी में लेते हैं? उनको मंत्री भी बना देते हैं। आप किस तरह से उनको अपने गठबंधन में लाते हैं? जैसे ही हमारे बेंगलुरु में टीम इंडिया की मीटिंग हुई तो पहले तो आप कहते थे कि 1 वर्सेस ऑल देश में, तो फिर आप दिल्ली में 38 पार्टीज को अपने साथ आपने क्यों गठबंधन में लाया? क्यों? आप तो कह रहे थे कि आप अकेले काफी है सभी पार्टीज के लिए, फिर अचानक से आप 38 पार्टीज को लाते हैं। उनमें से कुछ पार्टीज ऐसे होते हैं।
पर आप उनके काउंटर को भी सुनिए महुआ जी, वो ये कह रही है कि आनंद जी सिंपल बात कर रहे हैं, 2 wrongs don't make a right। अगर आप कह रहे हैं कि बीजेपी भ्रष्ट है, तो अगर आप भी वही कृत्य कर रही हैं तो क्या आप मान रही हैं कि आप भी भ्रष्ट हैं?
नहीं, ये भ्रष्ट आप कैसे साबित करेंगे? मैं अगर ये कहूं कि आप ईडी की छापेमारी करा के, आप सीबीआई से रेड करा के आप ये साबित करें कि वो भ्रष्ट हैं, लेकिन मैं आपको बता दूं कि सिर्फ हमारे
ठीक है, बीजेपी मौका पर है।
मैं झारखंड में
मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं
जिनके ऊपर
क्या आप बीजेपी हैं?
लेकिन उनके यहाँ ना तो
आनंद भी आपसे यही प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं महुआ जी। आनंद भी आपसे
मैं जवाब दे रही हूँ।
मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ कि क्या
बोलने दीजिए, मैं अपनी बातें क्लियर कर लेती हूँ पहले। आपने कहा कि सारे भ्रष्ट एक साथ होने से क्या सही हो जाएगा? ऐसा नहीं है। भ्रष्ट आप उनको कह रहे हैं जिनके यहाँ ईडी छापेमारी कर रही है, जिनके यहाँ सीबीआई जा रही है। आपको पता होना चाहिए कि सिर्फ झारखंड की अगर मैं बात करूं तो झारखंड में पिछली सरकार में जब भाजपा की सरकार
आप फिर विषय
वहां पर ऐसे लोग थे
लेट्स कम बैक टू देखिए ना प्लीज महुआ जी प्लीज कम बैक। नहीं, मैं आपसे आग्रह करूंगा, कम बैक टू द सिंपल क्वेश्चन। अगर आप कह रही हैं कि बीजेपी वॉशिंग मशीन की तरह बिहेव कर रही है, जिनको परसों आपने भरा बुला कहा, आज आपने अपने, तो क्या आप भी वही हैं?
नहीं, हम वही नहीं,
आप वही नहीं, आप वही नहीं है। आप तो अगर आप वही नहीं है तो फिर वही तो आनंद रंगनाथन आपसे पूछ रहे हैं कि जिनको आपने भ्रष्ट कहा आज आप उन्हीं से हाथ मिला रहे हैं, तो फिर आप और बीजेपी में क्या फर्क हुआ?
तो किसी में कोई फर्क है नहीं।
हाँ, तो फिर आप तो अभी आपने 15 सेकंड में अपनी बात बदल दी। आपने कहा हम बीजेपी जैसे नहीं है, फिर आपने कहा कि भाई हम दोनों सेम है।
जिनके आपको मैं बता दूं, हमारे झारखंड में एक माननीय बाबूलाल मरांडी जी हैं जो कि अभी भाजपा में आ गए दूसरी पार्टी से। उन्होंने कुछ दिन पहले कहा कि बीजेपी भ्रष्टाचारी है, अगर कुतुब मीनार से कूद
अरे आप उनका हवाला दे रही हैं, पर अगर आप कह रही हैं कि आप देखिए, या तो आप कह रही हैं कि हम सब एक ही थाली के चट्टे बट्टे हैं, अगर फिर आप लोग सब सेम हैं। अगर आप लोग सब सेम हैं तो आप कांग्रेस को भला बुला कहिए, लेकिन आप कांग्रेस के साथ जुड़ेंगे तो आप बीजेपी को भला बुला मत कहिए, क्योंकि बीजेपी वही कर रही है जो आप कर रही है। ना,
आसानी से उनको भ्रष्टाचार
ना, ऐसा कुछ नहीं। अगर आपने भ्रष्टाचार नहीं किया तो भ्रष्टाचार साबित कैसे होंगे? अगर आपने भ्रष्टाचार नहीं किया, अगर आपके देखिए, मैं देखिए झारखंड के व्यक्तिगत विषय में मैं नहीं जाना चाहता हूं, लेकिन वहां पर भी आपकी टॉप ब्यूरोक्रेट जो कि राइट हैंड है वो रंगे हाथों पकड़ी गई है, विद एविडेंस पकड़ी गई है। तो आप रुकिए,
पूरा भ्रष्टाचार 2005 का है जब वहां भाजपा
अरे तो फिर अगर वो भ्रष्टाचारी है तो फिर आपकी सरकार में आपने उनको हटाया क्यों नहीं? आपने उन पर भ्रष्टाचार का आरोप क्यों नहीं लगाया? आप फिर विषय को भटका रही है। देखिए सिंपल बात है, अगर आप सिंपल बात है महुआ जी, अगर आप किसी पर एक उंगली दिखाती है, 3 उंगलियां वापस आपके ऊपर पॉइंट करती है, ये सिंपल लॉजिक है। आपने 10 सेकंड में आपने नहीं, आप विषय को इधर से उधर से इधर भटका रहे। मैं आपसे बस ये पूछ रहा हूं कि इस अलायंस का कृत्य क्या कि जिसके साथ आपने हाथ मिलाया उसने नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन मूव किया आपको बताए बिना, तो फिर आपका क्या औचित्य क्या है? आपका स्टैंडर्ड क्या है? आपका लेवल क्या है? इंडिया कर तो रहे हैं आप वहां लोकसभा के अंदर, राज्यसभा के अंदर, पार्लियामेंट, बट दे मूव्ड नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन विदाउट इवन टेलिंग यू, सो दे डोंट इवन कंसिडर यू एज एन एबल ally. They don't even consider you. That's what it looks like. L. Hanumanthaya ji, Quit India, Simi, Indian Mujahideen, Popular Front of India, Indian National Congress, all were set up with a different intent than the cause for the country. That's the whole thought process. So if Mahatma Gandhi said quit India to the Angrez, Pradhan Mantri is saying quit India to the dynasts, quit India to the appeasers, quit India to the corrupt. आप क्या कहेंगे?
See, today the issue is not that. Not the corruption is the issue of the day. Manipur, when the discussion is demanded by the opposition parties, the ruling government did not allow them to happen it. They allow it is under 157, not under 267. And the Prime Minister, please understand, when the Parliament is starting or in deliberations, he goes to the press and gives 30 seconds reaction. Whereas it doesn't come to the Parliament and take the questions of the parliamentarians and give them the answers. Is it right on the part of the Prime Minister that he has to answer the questions of the parliamentarians or not? That is point number one. Point number two, the Home Minister said, yes, we are ready for discussion. Under what rule you are ready for discussion? If the rule is sufficiently time is given to the members of parliament, then all the aspects of the, sir, you understand, since 2 months, the violence is going on in Manipur. But the Prime Minister never reacted, never uttered a single word on that. Instead, he toured everywhere, he spoke on everything, but not on Manipur. So what is this? What is this? What does it speaks? We must have to tell the people of this country.
Let me respond.
And
Let me
Parliament
respond.
is the
He's
apex
been
body
patient. Let him
where
say
the
his speech.
serious
Let him
thing
say
is
his
going
speech.
on.
We have time, sir. We have
the
time. Let him
discussion
say
has
his
to be
speech.
done there. But if we don't allow the discussion in the Parliament, then where else the parliamentarians will go and have the discussion? And what is that the government has to do? What is
let
the
me respond.
responsibility of the government?
Okay. Okay.
When the whole
Mr.
state
Hanumanthaiah,
is burning,
are you willing to yield
and
now,
somebody
sir?
said it is a nature of genocide. Then last one point.
Yeah.
The nature of genocide, is it not that it is between the communities? It is between the communities and the killings is going on.
Okay.
It is affected every part of the life.
Okay.
in Manipur.
Hanumanthaiah ji,
But the
Hanumanthaiah
Parliament
ji,
is not in
Hanumanthaiah
a
ji.
position to discuss.
Okay.
and-
Hanumanthaiah ji, are you willing to yield,
Yes.
sir? Yeah. If you're willing to
Let me.
yield, sir, the word genocide
Yeah,
was
please,
used.
please.
No. Yeah, the word genocide was used by your own alliance partner, and you are
No,
saying
it
that
is
she's
the
wrong.
nature of genocide I am talking. It is in the nature of genocide.
No,
it
sir.
is not, I am
Sir,
not
please
telling
take
it is
out
genocide.
1 minute, 1 minute,
There is
sir.
an
1
instinct
minute,
of
1 minute,
genocide
sir.
into
1
that.
minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. You're all parliamentarians. You are there with a
Okay.
certain responsibility, sir. As
Yeah.
a citizen of this country, and as somebody who
Definitely.
expects a certain level of responsibility and maturity from parliamentarians, please open the word genocide and understand the meaning before you use that word so flippantly, sir. Please
No,
open that word and please use it
I am
responsibly.
No,
Is my
no,
humble
I am
request,
telling
because
you-
sir, as an ordinary citizen, I cannot serve a
See,
privilege
I-
notice to you,
See, I
and
have
I
heard
cannot
of
hold
you.
you accountable
I have
for
heard of
statements
you.
that are
I am
irresponsible and that are
No, I am
not
telling
that
you,
are
I am
unwarranted, sir.
telling you
So I am
the
just going to
nature of
I'm just
genocide
going
in
to
that
I'm just going to
between
stay
the
there, sir.
communities. That is
I'm
what
going to
we
table
said.
it there, sir.
The
I'm going to
same
table
word
it
has
there,
been
and I'm
said
going to
inside
leave it
the
to your good
parliament. They are
sense.
not here,
I'm
not
going to
on
good.
that
I'm
channel,
going to
I'm
leave it to
telling
your good
you. It
sense.
is inside
You
the
are a
parliament.
parliamentarian.
I
You are an
understand what
elected
your
member of the Lok
intention is.
Sabha. Sir, you should have.
I
You
know.
have spent a lot
I
of
know
time
about it. I
in
know
public
what you are
life.
telling.
You are a member of the Rajya Sabha. You are supposed to be an intellectual, just like Mahua Maji ji. Please use your intelligence and don't use words just for the sake of
100%.
political effect,
With all
because it will have a
responsibility,
damaging
I am
effect on
using
your
that
own
word. With all
on your
I
own
am
stature
using
as a
that word
parliamentarian.
just
Mahua ji, you
because-
had a point to say, please.
Sir,
मैं ये कहना चाह रही थी कि आप देखिए सरकार कितनी असंवेदनशील है कि इतनी सारी महिलाओं के साथ जो भी कृत्य वहाँ हुआ, जो वीडियोज आए, उसके पास महिला बाल विकास मंत्री ने एक शब्द, एक स्टेटमेंट नहीं दिया उस तरह का, जबकि वो छोटे छोटे बात पर वो अपना स्टेटमेंट देती हैं, उसको वायरल करती हैं। आप क्या हम उनसे उम्मीद नहीं कर सकते हैं कि महिला सुरक्षा के
बिल्कुल
लिए
कीजिए।
उनका एक अच्छा स्टेटमेंट आना चाहिए था, बल्कि उनको मांग करनी चाहिए थी
पर
माननीय
ये उम्मीद
प्रधानमंत्री
एक
जी से।
महिला होते हुए ना,
बिल्कुल,
मैम,
उनको आना चाहिए।
जैसे आप रेखा शर्मा जी से ये उम्मीद कर रही हैं,
बिल्कुल मैं उम्मीद कर रही हूं।
जैसे आप ये एक बात
रेखा शर्मा जी से भी उम्मीद करती हूं
रेखा शर्मा जी
कि वो भी इसमें अपनी बात रखें और इसको लेकर।
नहीं, अगर आप जैसे एक महिला होकर आपको जितना दर्द मणिपुर के लिए हो रहा है, शायद उतना ही दर्द आपको झारखंड के लिए होना चाहिए, उतना ही दर्द आपको बंगाल के लिए होना चाहिए, उतना ही दर्द आपको राजस्थान के लिए होना चाहिए, सबके लिए होना चाहिए।
लेकिन सब जगह की परिस्थितियां अलग हैं। वहां की
जफर इस्लाम, यू वांटेड टू रिस्पॉन्ड,
तुरंत गिरफ्तारियां।
जफर इस्लाम,
यहाँ पर आप देखें कि
जफर इस्लाम वांटेड टू रिस्पॉन्ड,
गिरफ्तारियां नहीं हुई।
जी, कमिंग टू आनंद रंगनाथन आफ्टर जफर इस्लाम। यस, जफर इस्लाम.
Where he's running away, Mr. Hanumanthaiah.
I think he'll come back. He'll come back.
He is a member. He is a Rajya Sabha member nominated by Congress party. I think he should dig the record and see what response Congress had given to the Parliament, who had responded in the Parliament, who had spoken on the behalf of the government. It is the Minister of State, Mr. Pilot, during 1993 ethnic clash between Kukis and Nagas. He visited only once for 3.5 hours. 2 hours he was at the airport. 1.5 hours he was having lunch with the Chief Minister. After that, he never visited there. It is, and just see the contrast. 550 people died at that point in time. See the contrast. Here, the Minister of State was camping there from 25th June to 25th May to till the June 21st. He was just camping there. The Honorable Home Minister visited there personally. He was camping there for 3 days. Honorable Home Minister wanted to respond. Discussion should take place on the floor of the Parliament instead of Minister of State at that point in time, only for 40 minutes. That's all. At that time, when the Prime Minister was asked, he didn't even respond.
My point is, sir,
So what are you talking about?
What you have shared with all the parliamentarians before.
Are you ready to discuss?
Zafar Islamji, what you have said on the show tonight, that in 2 days we will have all the details. The Janta, the people of the country will have the details of what's been shared with all members of Parliament.
Absolutely.
And in the BAC before the session began. We would like to see those details. In the meantime, Anand Ranganathan, as I come to you, this is the update on Manipur. Centre speaking to both communities in Manipur, hopeful to get them on the same table soon. Talks at an advanced stage. Right now, this is the latest status. Violence still there in Manipur, but at a smaller scale. No death reported since July 18th of July. 35,000 central forces have made buffers between both communities. Video case to be handled handed over to the CBI and the centre to recommend trial in a separate state. The man who shot the video has been caught and the phone has been seized. No guilty person will be spared is a commitment coming right from the Prime Minister. There is no price hike situation in the state. Adequate supplies of essentials are there. Biometric and thumb impressions to be taken of all people coming from Myanmar. Henceforth, this concern was also raised with the Assam Rifles, allowing about 700 plus people in. Centre to fast track the fencing project with Myanmar. Survey is being conducted. PM has been in constant touch with officials for updates on the Manipur situation. This is what government sources have told CNN News 18 on the Manipur situation today. So it's not that work is not happening, but is it being communicated ably enough? That's the first point. And secondly, if politics is about perception and about narrative, then is the opposition not stealing a march on the government right now? Anand Ranganathan, final comment on the debate, please.
No, absolutely. Very briefly, Anand, you've hit the nail on the head. And what I said to Mr. Islam, good friend, was that all those things that BJP wants to convey through the parliament to 1.4 billion Indians, like it should come out irrespective of whether it is allowed to speak in the parliament. Because we, the people, deserve to know. And as I said, the data, the figures are with the BJP. Manipur is more peaceful, barring the last 2 months, more stable than it ever was. It's a fact. You can see from the districts where AFSPA is and AFPA was. But can I please take another 30 seconds to actually counter Mahua ji? Because she said she's factually wrong when she said Smriti Irani ji has not reacted to the horrendous incident that all of us have rightly condemned. She has. But when she says that she has sahanubhuti and she equally fights for every such instrument, I want to ask her that in September of 2022, a 13-year-old was gang raped in Gurdaspur in Punjab, where AAP, your alliance government, is. For 6 months, the police did not act. allegedly the police allowed the perpetrator to flee. Can you show me, Mahuaji, your tweet or one comment on that horrendous incident? Can you please show me? Because I checked, you have not commented on that thing at all.
अगर आप कहना चाह रहे हैं कि जो पुरानी घटना थी, तो आपको तो जनता ने चुना ना, आपको लाया कि पहले जो घटनाएं हुई उनकी पुनरावृत्ति ना हो। जनता तो चाह रही है कि आप यहाँ शांति बहाल करें, हमारे देश के हर राज्य में इस तरह की कोई घटना ना हो। आपकी जिम्मेदारी है, आप कह रहे हैं कि हम बार बार आएंगे।
आपकी जिम्मेदारी पंजाब में है, झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा की जिम्मेदारी
अगर पंजाब में है तो पंजाब में
कांग्रेस की जिम्मेदारी बंगाल में है,
मैं ये कहना चाह रही हूं
बीजेपी की जिम्मेदारी मणिपुर में है।
तृणमूल कांग्रेस हो या जो भी हो,
तो जो स्टेट का लॉ एंड ऑर्डर स्टेट सब्जेक्ट है ना मैम, तो वो सेंटर पे आप लॉ एंड ऑर्डर थोप देंगे तो फिर आप कहेंगे फिर
वो वीडियो 4 मई का था, वो 18 को वहां पर रिपोर्ट जो दर्ज किया गया और उसमें भी वो गैंग रेप नहीं आया, उसको लाइट कर दिया गया। तो हम कहीं भी किसी भी स्टेट में हो रहा है,
357 केसेस हाईलाइट हुए थे बंगाल में। आपने ट्वीट किया, आपने ममता बनर्जी से सवाल पूछा इससे पहले कि आप अलायंस में उनके साथ बैठे कि देखिए इसको आपने सॉल्व किया। जितने लोगों ने बंगाल से आप ही के स्टेट के अंदर पलायन किया, झारखंड के अंदर, उनके साथ उनके लिए आपने क्या किया? प्रश्न पूछने के लिए बहुत हो सकते हैं, जैसे मैंने कहा मैम, इफ यू पॉइंट अ फिंगर एट वन पर्सन, 3 विल पॉइंट बैक एट यू। आई हैव टू वाइंड अप।
जवाब दी रहती है, लेकिन यहाँ पर 80 दिनों से घटनाएं घटती रही और किसी को पता तक नहीं कि वहां पर अंदर अंदर वो जल रहा था, ना न्यूज बाहर आने दिया गया। अगर मान लीजिए मणिपुर में सब कुछ इतना नॉर्मल है, तो फिर वहां पर क्यों इंटरनेट
मणिपुर में कोई भी, मणिपुर में अब सिचुएशन नॉर्मल हो रहा है,
इंटरनेट कनेक्शन क्यों बंद है? तो फिर
पर एक बात बताइए, एक बात बताइए, पिछले 2 महीने में, इससे पहले कि ये 10 दिन पहले जब सरकार या कांग्रेस ने डिसाइड किया कि हम मणिपुर पे बात करेंगे, आपने कितनी बार मणिपुर पे ट्वीट किया मैम? आपने बीइंग अ पार्लियामेंटेरियन कितनी बार ट्वीट किया? ये प्रश्न अभी आनंद रंगनाथन ने आपसे पूछा। जफर इस्लाम नहीं, झारखंड में लोगों को अपने घर छोड़ के जाने पड़ रहे हैं क्योंकि वहां बांग्लादेशी आके बस रहे हैं, पाकुर और बाकी इलाकों में। वहां पर आपने कितनी बार ट्वीट किया? वेस्ट बंगाल से अभी भी 2021 के चुनाव के बाद और पंचायत चुनाव के बाद लोग झारखंड और असम पलायन करके गए। आपने कितनी बार ममता बनर्जी से पूछा? ये प्रश्न पूछे जा रहे हैं मैम।
अगर किसी भी दूसरे कंट्री से कोई इस कंट्री में आता है तो उससे सुरक्षा की जिम्मेदारी केंद्र सरकार की है कि राज्य सरकार की है?
तो ये प्रश्न आपने पार्लियामेंट में उठाया है?
बिल्कुल उठा रही हूँ। अगर मान लीजिए दूसरे कंट्री से कोई आ रहा है हमारे कंट्री में, तो उसकी जिम्मेदारी केंद्र सरकार की है।
तो आप उनको अपने स्टेट में बसने देंगे? वहां पर जो संथल है और संथल परगना में उनको पलायन करने देंगे? देखिए, डिबेट का ये विषय नहीं है, इसलिए मैं वापस रुक करूंगा। फाइनल वर्ड जफर इस्लाम, आर वी गोइंग टू सी Manipur discussed in parliament? Are you going to out the opposition on the fact that as you are claiming that they know the facts but they're deliberately derailing and disrupting parliament and not debating? When are you going to do that? Zafar Islam, final word, have to wind up.
Absolutely. Anand, I am spot on as far as when I am making the statement that the opposition leaders, they are fully aware, because when the meeting held, the Honorable Home Minister briefed everyone. But they just want to pretend that they were not aware. Secondly, their intention is to disrupt the parliament. They do not want the discussion, but now they have forced by no confidence in motion, put in motion. Now they have forced us to discussion should take place. Discussion will take place. All the truth will come out. They will be ripped apart. I am telling you, they will be ripped apart. Posturing.
But why did you wait for 5 days?
They will stand exposed.
Why did you wait for 5 days to say that they will be ripped apart? They will be exposed. I think you could have done it on day 1.
No. We as the ruling party always wanted to have a constructive dialogue with them. So whatever discussion, as a matter of principle, that let the discussion, let's discuss what issues need to be discussed on the floor of the parliament in BSc. So we discussed. We arrived at consensus. Yet they changed their mind when we actually.
So then make it public, sir. Make the consensus public. make the consensus
It will be
public,
made
make them sign on a
It will-
written document that there is consensus, there will be discussion, and they will allow Parliament to function. Put that document and ask all the newspapers, all the news channels to put it out there and headline it, sir, that there is consensus. Then the next day, if there is disruption and if there is no debate, then you hold those people who are going back on their word accountable. Let's make it public. That's my first request. The second request, sir, please look at your record of Parliament functioning. It is on the wane over the last 3 to 4 sessions. So that's also reflective on a commitment that was made that Parliament will function and business will be conducted. Lesser number of days in Parliament sessions and lesser productivity is something which is reflective in the numbers, and that's not a happy sign or a good sign, sir, especially when you're coming towards the end of your second term. I have to wind up on that note. I thank all our guests for a very engaging and